Yo, what's good everybody? Welcome back to a brand new video, and today I'm giving you guys another tier list. Just a couple days ago I uploaded meta tier list with my boy Matt, and I believe that was a great video. It was able to cover all the bases of the decks that we're going to be seeing up into the upcoming format. So today I'm going to be giving you guys a hand trap tier list. So most of the hand traps that I showed you guys in the last hand trap tier list video are the same, but it might be some different applications compared to last time. So you know what, without further ado, let's just get straight into it. So right over here we have our hand traps over here in a couple tiers. Obviously, main is big. You know what I mean? You know, main is big because it might change your life, right? Really good. Not as good as main is big, but really good to consider to have in your main deck or your side deck. Situational. Situational is you know, really going into like specific matchups. This is good against one matchup, but not really good against the other, right? Not the format. I'm not saying that these hand traps are bad. I'm just saying that this is not the format for these hand traps, right? Because of the decks that are out there, of course. And then please now,
ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine. You just can't get into it because they would never understand.
So, our first hand trap over here, Ash Blossom, main is bit. Literally, everyone plays Ash in their main deck. You know why? Because there is not a single deck, no matter rogue, like tier 1, tier 2, tier 79. You know, almost every deck searches, almost every deck sends something. Some decks send some cards from hand, from deck to grave, and basically special summon from deck as well. So Ash Blossom is really good against those matchups for sure. Ghost Bell, I really do want to say that this is actually a really good hand trap right now, because we're going to be seeing a lot of graveyard interaction in the next format, mainly counting towards like Fire Kings. Fire Kings interact with their graveyard a lot, and Ghost Bell is going to be really good against that matchup. Bestials, this is one of those cards that I mentioned that this might be in the situational or not in the format. The reason why I'm considering that this is not in the format is because as I mentioned before, a lot of fire decks are going to be popping up. So once we get the new next core sets, we're going to get Populous, we're going to get Promethean Princess, and in the new Maze of Millennium, like as you probably seen throughout the openings, we are getting Bonfire in there. So fire decks are actually getting a lot of support in the next coming sets. So Bestials are not going to really do as much because they're only really targeting light and dark decks, while other cards such as DD Crow, for example, I might as well put it up now. I would say that this is like actually really top of really good, because this can hit literally anything, such as fire monsters, and not even just fire monsters, but spells, trap cards such as like Big Welcome Labyrinth, or anything of that sort that you don't really want in the graveyard, right? Because you know your opponent might get it back, but you know DD Crow just deals with that for you already. Next card over here, Contact C. As I mentioned in the last one, and I mentioned in this one as well, please no. What is everyone putting in their extra deck nowadays? SP the Little Knight, right? Why the hell are you gonna give your opponent a freaking monster for no freaking reason, right? So this is good when there's now SP Little Knight, and I see SP Little Knight being in the game for who knows how long. So honestly, as long as SP Little Knight is in this game, I don't think we're gonna be seeing any sort of access to Contact C. Okay, so now this is the one I'm a little bit confused with. I know one of these is, I think this one is the trap negate, and then this is the spell negate, right? So I really do want to say maybe not in the format. These are not bad cards, but obviously this is like making you play a brick in your deck, as in the driver. So let's say that Gamma maybe is not in the format, or this is a complete no. Honestly, what do you guys think in the comments down below? I would say like not. This card will be automatically be up here if it was at 3, but now this is at 1. I want to say please no, because like why are you gonna play the 1 of with the 1 brick, right? Because you're basically, if you're drawing one of these cards, there's a 50-50 chance that you are gonna get the brick instead of the Gamma, right? So I don't know. This is just such a really good card though. I'm just gonna put it up here, not to really absolutely shit on the card. So, and I want to maybe say the same thing over here. The trap negate and the spell negate are really good, but this is not exactly like the cards that I would prefer to play over something like Ash Blossom, DD Crow, Ghost Bell, and other things like that. Spooky, Spooky Dogwood, right? Situational. I mean, if you're in those regionals where you are really looking for something to go into time, I just don't think your deck is really built good enough, or this might be a player thing as well. But if you're really worried about time, I just don't know if like you're really thinking about the right things when it comes to building a deck for something like locals or regionals. So I'm gonna keep that there. I really want to put this in between these two over here. Obviously, main this bin, you know, you never know, right? But I'm gonna just put it on top of really good. Everyone's citing this card right now, and not everyone, like, I don't think not every deck searches, such as Labyrinth. Labyrinth's gonna be one of the best decks, and Droll literally does nothing to them. So honestly, I'm gonna just put this right here. When it comes to other decks such as Vanadium and Fire Kings, this does a lot against them. So I would probably maybe keep it in the side deck. You can main it if you really want to, but right for me right now, this is a side deck card along with Drone Lockbird, along with DD Crow. I mean, this card, if you can afford to play it, absolutely play it, because this card, I absolutely hate when this card is used against me. But you know what? If your deck can afford to do it, such as Exo Sisters, such as Flu, such as Vanquish Soul, right? You can afford to play this card. So yeah, this card is just way too powerful. I'm surprised you were not banned. Effect Veiler, I will say this is probably in the main this bit as well. The only time that this is really bad is obviously when it comes to D Shifter, because you can't send cards. You can't send this card to the graveyard. So that's the only thing that I would say that's wrong with Effect Veiler. But other than that, this card is really good, and the only other thing is activating it during your opponent's main phase. But your opponent does mostly everything during their main phase anyway, so this is actually a really good card against like most matchups as well. So that's really good. Absolutely not. Just don't play this card. This is not even. I think what was this like 2019, and even people weren't even like dying to play this card in 2019 either. So honestly, it's just not worth it. Just don't do this, right? Like, your opponent has a lot of ways to just like summon more and more monsters every damn time. So honestly, just having a no material against one monster, I believe, is not enough. So please do not play this card. Imperm, definitely one of the best cards in the game right now. Being able is a better Veiler in my own opinion, because first of all, you are not restricted to main phase 1 to play this card. Second of all, it's a trap card, so if you were to open this going first and your opponent has nothing on their field, you could just set it, and it has the extra effect if depending on which column it is, that column is negated as well from both players. So that's really good there. And yeah, it does not, as I mentioned before, it's a trap card, so it doesn't play into cards such as Triple Tactics Thrust, Triple Tactics Talents, and things like that. So we have Valencia over here. Probably this is like a situational card over here. I say situational because like people do recognize that there's D shifters like in different parts of the format. So with not the best decks playing D shifter right now, I don't think Lancia is something worth playing, just because there's like D shifters in different parts of the format, different like decks right now, right? So other decks might want to consider this just because like they really need their graveyard badly. But other than that, I just don't think anything is like worth playing. Any deck is gonna use up slots for this just because, right? Ghost Mourner, really good card over here, absolutely incredible. The only thing that people like play the Veiler for more, other than like the Ghost Mourner, is because Ghost Mourner needs to activate as soon as the opponent special summons a monster. So say as if like your opponent has like, I don't know, maybe like a Kashtira unicorn or something like that, and then you have to use the Ghost Mourner immediately to negate it. If they find some other way to get into another Kashtira unicorn, you are kind of not in a good spot just because they are able, you didn't use it like chaining to the effect, right? So that's the only thing about it. But also a really good thing about this card as well is that if your opponent is playing D shifter, this card automatically becomes a better choice than Effect Veiler, because this card it discards instead of sending it to graveyard, right? Second of all, if the card leaves the field, it inflicts damage equal to the original attack points, so that's actually really good as well. Make it just like they're kind of like a time card in a way. Also, when it comes to like if your opponent needs to like make sure that they get rid of that monster to go further with their plays, then this card is actually really good. So that's actually really good there. Nibiru, really, I would say this is a good card right now. I personally maybe wouldn't main it myself, but siding it, yeah, for sure. There's always gonna be decks that play into this card. Ghost Ogre, not in the format. I'm not maining this card just for, how you say it is, Centurions? No, absolutely not. Why would I do that? It's a good card though, but not in this time. Ghost Reaper. Yeah, I would say maybe please no. There's gonna be decks out there that doesn't need their extra deck space whatsoever, but this is too much of a diverse format to be dedicating 15 slots for like 15 of the best decks out there and blah blah blah. Why the hell would I do that, right? So I'd rather just not do that. So yeah. Retaliating. See, this card is, I think this might be like in the bottom of really good. I believe that this card just basically says if you were to activate a card or something like that, a spell, I think something like that, you summon this to your field and then it becomes a macrocosmos. I gotta double check that for sure, but this card banishes as long as it's on the field, I believe. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look it up and I'll just put it right over here, so I won't confuse myself or you guys. So it's actually really good against like graveyard decks that such as Fire Kings and other decks like that, so really good there. So Ravis, this one's a new one over here that I did not add to my last one. This card prevents, it negates anything that targets, right? So situational. We're gonna be seeing a lot of cards in the next format when it comes to especially like Fire Kings, for example, like something like a Skyburn or something like that, being able to target their cards and target your cards to pop them, but Saravis just basically prevents any of that from happening. So it's a decent card. I wouldn't say like it's the best one, so I'm gonna just kind of put it like down here. Phantasme. Did this card kind of fall off? I don't know, maybe. I think this card was mainly used against the Unchained matchup and any deck that just used SP Little Knight, but like why would I put in one card just for SP Little Knight, right? So maybe like situational once again. Like this is not something that I would just do just for one deck. And as I mentioned before, this is a really wide, diverse format. So sometimes like in like high events such as like regionals or something like that, you are not going to be facing against all the meta decks in the world, right? So Phantasme might be a dead like extra deck, dead side deck card at that point, right? So this is really situational to me. And something that one of my viewers mentioned in my last videos, I forgot Skullmeister. Skullmeister is a card that basically negates anything in graveyard. So I have talked to a couple people about this, and I do want to say this is like maybe like in the bottom of really good. Like this compared to Ghost Spell, right? Skullmeister, as I mentioned before, it only interacts with graveyard, but when it comes to Ghost Spell, it not just interacts with the graveyard, but other cards that be activating on the field, such as Monster Reborn, or like a Fire King card such as Fire King Circle or something like that. Circle the Fire King, right? That would revive something from graveyard. So I think that this might be just Ghost Spell is just obviously a way better card than Skullmeister in that case. So guys, this is our tier list right over here. Thank you so much for watching this video. Nice, short, simple, as I did the last time, just giving you guys some hand trap information over here, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.